Before we dive into this week's episode, I just want to give a massive thank you and a shout out to everyone who supported the Snap-on Tools Australia initiative, Socket to Breast Cancer, proudly supporting the McGrath Foundation and the fantastic work those cancer care nurses are doing Australia-wide. With your help via donations, purchasing merch and purchasing pink tools, the total funds raised this year Australia-wide is currently over $303,000, smashing the $250,000 target. Thank you to everyone for helping us socket to breast cancer with Snap-on Tools. Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly brought to you by Haltech. This week we are on the GX81, and as the great home built by Jeff said, if it's worth doing twice. So we are actually doing some stuff again today on the car. First and foremost, we are going to be remaking the transmission cross member, or the mount section at least. The tough mounts that are in it are really good for motorsport use, but in a street car, they're too firm. So as a result, we've got a lot of drivetrain noise and vibration. So today we're going to be making a new mount section with a diff bush from a BA or BF Falcon. We're actually using rubber ones for a lot more noise and vibration isolation. So that should work pretty well. I've also got our new BCW rear sway bar kit for the X8 platform. We're going to be fitting one of those today, with also some heavy duty mounts, and we're also going to be doing R32 rear brake installations. So plenty of stuff to do, and if we get time, we also are going to do a infill panel for the transmission tunnel to hold the shifter boot as well. So plenty to come. Let's get into it, because talking doesn't equal building cars. This is disconnected so I can do welding, when you're wondering. So these are the Falcon diff bushes, which I have modified. Originally they actually have a shoulder and the steel shell is much deeper. So I've machined them down so that, as you can see, the crush tube extends past the shell, because otherwise if we're trying to pinch on the crush tube and the shell's deeper, it's not going to work basically. So I could make spaces and stuff, but then I'd have to make the clevis wider on the transmission cross member, and amazingly this is actually the same width within a millimetre of what the tough mounts were, so it's actually going to save me a fair bit of time. So I've got these sleeves that Paulie from Shembry's Custom machined up for me, and he's also made some alignment plates so that we can weld this together without having the bush in, because these rubber bushes need to be pressed in, and if we press these in first to this sleeve and then weld it together, this is going to burn. So these are a nice little thing that Paulie's come up with. He makes his engine mounts in a similar way using these steel shell suspension bushes. So it should be a nice little thing, and much easier to do than trying to press it together, tack it, press it back out, bend something, change the tack position. So yeah, this will be much easier to put it together, and hopefully these will have a lot more noise and vibration isolation, so it should ride a bit nicer and be more livable. Fingers crossed. Either that or the gearbox is broken, so let's find out. So that's our Falcon diff bush, so BABF front bushes for the rear diff. Obviously a Falcon doesn't have a front diff, so that fits in. The clevis is a touch loose. I've actually splayed it out a little bit just for ease of assembly. So when we tighten it, it'll shut square. So they're a pretty nifty little thing. And then obviously we've got Paulie's sandwich kit. It does the same deal. So that means we can weld the tab straight across, and I've also, so to make sure that the gearbox position stays the same, I've put a twisty stand in before I removed the transmission cross member. I'm actually going to lift it up about 2 millimeters purely because I think the rubber mount is actually going to sag a little bit, so I just want to have that, basically be able to put the transmission back in the same spot that it was, so that all of our fabrication already lines up and there's no pressure on anything more than what it was previously. This is taking the place of the bush. Yeah. Because see how this is rubber. If I press these in now, yeah, and then weld this, because this sleeve is getting welded to this. Right. So this is getting cut off, and then that will go onto that. Righto. But if we leave that in there to weld it, this will burn. Yeah, gotcha. So these steel shells mean that this is still centered and all in the right spot. This ties that all together. Yep. With the same dimensions as this bush, because the other thing is, if you look at the bush, the crush tube's actually offset. So yep. Paulie's also made offset spaces. Yep. He's got a laser cutter, the damn wizard. But he gave me all of these pieces loose, and I just tacked them all together yesterday afternoon, just in preparation for weldage today. I've just measured the diameter of this tube versus the diameter of that tube, and I'm going to do some maths. And I've measured the diameter, subtracted this diameter from that diameter, and then halved it to give me the radius. So I'm going to measure from here to there, and then that should give me my cut line, hopefully, if my maths are right. So I should be able to draw a line from that edge there, come in 22 millimeters, and then that should be our cut line.
Yep.
In theory. 74 minus 22, 52. So if I get my magical scrubbers, so that's pretty much our cut line there. Wish me luck. You know, they say measure once, cut twice, and then make everything again. Let's see if I got it wrong or not. I think my maths are mathing.
Looks good.
I think the maths math, Gian. I'm not a total idiot. That remains to be seen. Oh, that's glorious. I quite like that, Gian.
You listened in math class.
Apparently. Do you know I was in like the full extension hectic maths?
No way, really?
Until year 8, and then I just totally didn't give a shit.
Yeah, but that's what happens.
I just so got over it, bro.
At the end of the year 8, you start being, you know, too cool for school sort of deal.
Yeah.
Same thing repeats.
73, yeah. So we got 1 mil difference in the bracket, but I think I'm just going to make it 52 in interest of keeping it the same.
Yep. You can always take more material off, as they say.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll cut it, and then I'll lineage it to fit. Yep. Or we may find that this is out, because these were all just handmade and hand cut, so there could have been a 1 mil variation when these were made, because the guy that made them's just a hack mechanic. Comments would be like, finally he's admitting the truth. Let's see if my math twice.
The word hack's a funny one because it can be used in positive and negative context.
Life hack.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it wrong.
But then being a hack isn't so positive.
Confusing, huh? So the good thing is it actually was supposed to be 51.
I came up with a bad one. My head just said science friction.
That's horrendous. Oh, that's glorious. Watch me have taken too much off now. Oh, that's just wonderful. Look at that, Gian.
That's perfect.
The math's math. Just gonna tack it, and then we're gonna take it off and weld it properly on the bench, and at which case I'll put on real PPE. Welding. So they come out now.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's rad. So now you can press in a rubber bush.
Well, once I weld it, yeah. So I'll weld these out.
Yeah.
And then press the bush in.
Yeah, rad.
I'll weld this up now and then paint it. Mm-hmm. And then we'll move on to the sway bar while the paint's drying.
Clever.
So while the transmission crossmember parts are drying, we're actually going to move on to the rear sway bar kit. We'll get that all fitted up while we're waiting for the paint to dry. Then we'll come and press the bushes in and put it all back together. Then we can bring it down, do the brake kit, and get it all sorted. So it should be fun times.
I think you mentioned a couple of times that you've made a design of your own on this sway bar?
So the sway bar, I've worked with Grip Tech because no one really offers a X8 rear sway bar. There's a couple of companies that list them online. Then when you actually go to order it, they put it on back order, and I reckon my theory is they're waiting for like 50 or 100 back orders before they'll actually put the bar back into production. So we're actually now selling this on the BCW website, and we've actually prototyped also some stiffer sway bar support brackets. So these are the test ones at the moment. The fitment and everything, once we confirm that's all good, which we're about to do, we'll also go into production with these as well. So We are going to offer the bar in an 18 mil, a 20 mil, and a 22. I've gone for a 20 because it's a nice compromise. They're also adjustable, so you can go harder or softer on the bar. We're going to set it up as soft just to see how it rides. But yeah, we're going to whack it all together, and yeah, these all work really well together. So we've got a heavy duty mount kit, the brace, we've got heavy duty links, and obviously the bar. So it's going to work together as a pretty nice package, and yeah, they're now available on the Benny's Custom Works website. So it all fits up pretty good. So on MX83 Australian delivered car and GX81 turbo at least, they run these factory stiffener brackets. Now they're pretty thin, and this one's actually bent. If you've got a GX81 non-turbo, it doesn't even have any of these because there's actually no rear sway bar factory fitted. So the part we've designed actually replaces this and is stronger because it also ties into the bottom where our new sway bar mount kit also actually bolts together. So it just transmits a lot more force to the rail of the car itself, because you don't want to have the mount of your bar flexing, because then most of the effort of the larger bar is actually wasted on the mount moving. So these brackets are definitely a good upgrade as well if you do already have an aftermarket bar. And if you're looking at one of our bar kits, we're probably actually going to add those into the kit itself. So watch this space.
Man, that's a seriously thick plate.
Yeah, so this plate here actually adapts to a larger sway bar link bush, or larger sway bar bush. So the issue we've seen with, well, a lot of cars actually, is the problem is the factory saddle is only designed to use a small bush because they come with a small bar. So by going to a much larger saddle, it means we can put a bigger bush in. This is a 20 mil bush, and you've still got quite a bit of material around the outside. So it means that we've got room to grow, and we could arguably put a bar even larger than 22 mil in a car, but the biggest issue at the moment is actually being able to support it. So that's why we've started with these brace brackets, because there's no point putting a 26 mil bar in the back of anything if you can't actually support it.
Oh, you've thought of it all.
Tried to.
Not that I'm surprised.
Thanks. I haven't been working alone. The guys at Grip Tech have been very handy and helpful with their input as well. At the end of the day, they're the ones making it, so they want to make sure it's right as well.
Is this literally the first test?
No, we've had, I think we're on about iteration 5 of the bar. So this was another thing too. I didn't want to bring something to market. So many companies these days, the first product they make is the one that goes to market.
Yep.
And then the customer ends up doing all the R&D.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in that.
What's R&D stand for again?
Research and development.
Yeah, that's right.
So then, yeah, you've gone and bought a product which should just work, and then you end up telling the supplier or the manufacturer or whoever what the issues are and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I don't think that's the job of the customer. That should be the company that's making the parts, or the company that's supplying the parts, i.e. me, because people are spending good money on stuff, and I don't think it's fair that they're just forking out the cash for products that aren't tested.
Tie rod ends, is that right?
No,
or is that on,
that is
that
wrong.
on the front?
That's, yeah.
Righto. So what are these?
Sway bar links.
Sway bar links, of course, because this is a sway bar.
It is.
And these are the links.
They are. Astute observation, Gian.
Thank you. And these are these are responsible for just literally bolting the sway bar onto the car.
Nah, well, it connects the suspension to...
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
these move around because the suspension moves around.
Yeah, because if they were fixed, they'd just snap.
Yeah, gotcha.
Let's see if it was a good idea to put the links on first.
Yeah, right. So I noticed they can be adjusted too.
Yeah, so you can... The idea is so that if you want to run the car at closer to standard ride height, you can still maintain a pretty reasonable bar angle.
Yeah.
So we've actually modified this bar to work. Well, the factory Toyota bar actually bends down quite a lot to meet the stock ride height, whereas we've flattened the bar out to suit lowered vehicles. So
Yeah,
it's not
cool.
just a copy of the standard Toyota bar.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty proud of that.
Looks pretty good.
Pretty proud of my dead torch.
Yeah, right. So I'm just looking at how this is set up, and I've never actually looked at a rear sway bar and analysed the
Quiz
function
me,
of it.
Quizzed.
But I'm guessing that even if you get suspension travel on this side,
Yeah.
this bar would even it out. So
Well, the idea is that it actually flattens the car out in corners. So instead of having all that big lurching body roll that you may be used to, especially in your Impreza, for instance,
yeah,
this will, basically what it does is it connects both of the arms so they can move, they'll travel independently at compression. I mean, they'll still travel independently, but effectively that bar is a big spring. So you're twisting the bar like that, and that's what it stops the sway, basically. So it connects both corners and the bar becomes a spring. I know I'm explaining it badly, but yeah, long story short, the bigger the bar, the more force is required to kind of make the body roll, and then the roll is a difference of corner ride height, basically.
yeah, sweet. What's the difference between this sway bar and anti-roll bars, or is that the same
Just
thing?
different name.
Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
It's sway bar, anti-sway bar, anti-roll bar,
Yeah.
whatever.
Gotcha.
Well, roll bar is probably a roll cage actually. But anywho, that's very winning. Apart from where I scratch the shit out of it.
No, that's a good explanation.
I like
'cause,
it.
Yeah, this makes sense with the whole twisting motion, like that.
Yeah.
That's, it comes out and does that shape. So yeah.
You
Yeah,
like it?
makes
I like
sense.
it.
Yeah, looks really good.
Thank you to Grip Tech for collaborating, because this has been a project that I've wanted to do for a while. And yeah, these guys are based in Sydney. They will make one-off bars. Keep in mind, one-off stuff is dearer than what you look at a production piece. But they do a lot of engine conversion style sway bars. Say if you've put a JZ or an RB into an S13, there's a lot of clearance issues with the front sump. Same deal with barrow conversions. So they will make custom bars based off of dimensions or templates you can supply. It's also Australian made, so they're bent here, they're powder coated here. All the R&D is done in Australia as well, so you are going to get something that's going to fit and last a very, very long time. So check out Grip Tech. They will do all sorts of stuff, and like I said, they're Australian made and located in Sydney, so really handy if you are doing engine conversions or one-off stuff like this. So this is the way they're going to have to go.
There is an orientation to it.
Well, I think they're going to be firmer that way. So because remember how I said I was going to allocate a couple of millimeters to the height change?
Yep.
So I think that's why I'm going to go that way.
And what's this little? It looks like a locking.
I don't know. That's a Ford thing, because these are, like I said, these are from a Falcon. Looking at these things side by side, you can see just how different the original tough mount is versus this Falcon diff bush. So hopefully there's some level of flexibility and noise and vibration absorption, whereas the tough mount's almost rigid. So like I said, great for motorsport applications, but in a street car, when I was building this thing originally, I probably didn't really know what I was up to compared to what I now, having driven the car, going, oh yeah, it's not really going to work. So this will make it much nicer. Hopefully the engine mount will still be good enough that we don't have to change those as well, because most of the noise is being generated from the transmission. So I'm really hoping that this will absorb a lot of that and fix our problems. Well, that's that one. That was easy.
Okay.
Nope.
Wait, what's going on here? So this is getting pressed straight into this. So
I'm going to press
metal
the
on
bush.
metal.
Yeah. Yeah, so the idea is that these basically lock in.
So are you going to put any grease here?
No.
Yeah, cool.
Because the idea is there's friction. The friction is to hold it in.
Yeah.
So Paulie, when he machined these bushes, because they're not just a standard piece of tube, he's machined the tolerance in there to basically be a press fit.
Magic.
Magic. Technology. Just going to put one in just because, before I go too hectic with it, and make sure it actually works. Bro, that's mint.
Yeah.
Look at that. Perfect. Someone didn't paint the backside of this one. Fucking someone.
I always blame someone.
It's always someone's fault. Bit of cush there.
Sweet.
I like that. And that also tells me there's still a little bit of movement in the front, which is handy. So now I've come to the portion of the episode where we're going to talk all things rear brakes, and this is basically a bit of a mix match setup to put the R32, R33 rear two-pot caliper, that's the Sumitomo type caliper, not the Brembo caliper, on the back of a X8 platform, so GX81, JZX81, MX83. Robert Cisco Kids actually makes this bracket. It's fully machined steel piece, really nice bit of gear, again Australian made. And that basically allows you to use the R32, R33 rear caliper with a JZX100 rear disc, and then that also allows you to use the correct size handbrake drum, no other funny business. The thing I will say is there's a few different listings for JZX100 discs, so make sure that you get the correct handbrake diameter. 176 millimeters. Yeah, because some disc manufacturers, for whatever reason, they cross-list the 30 series Sora disc as fitting the rear of a JZX100, and it definitely doesn't. These particular ones are Project Mu. They're available online. I believe DBA also do one, but these were the most reasonably priced one I could find. So yeah, we're going to put all the stuff together. I have also cleaned up all of our caliper hardware with basically like a wheel cleaner, because I found that was the most aggressive, like acid style cleaner, and they've come up as new. So we'll chuck them all together now, and I painted the calipers bodgily with a brush, but they're not going to be seen, so let's put it in. Fortunately, we can actually reuse the brake lines. No, well, the fitting's actually the same between the Skyline caliper and the X8 caliper.
Sweet.
So some of them aren't. Some calipers are banjo style, whereas these are designed, the brake line screws directly in.
Yeah, cool.
And they're actually the same as a R32 Skyline's designed to use a hard line, which uses the same little taper and thread. So glad I went and bought all brand new brakes for this car. Only to pull all of them off. Doesn't matter. Someone might get a deal on some brakes. So you do need to cut this dust shield. So I'm just basically going to run a grinder around it and knock this outer lip off. I'm going to leave the back section still, but I want to take that off so that this doesn't rub on the disc, because it does interfere by a fair bit, because they're a larger diameter and they're also vented now, so the disc is wider. Pretty happy with that freestyle. Yes, it has a cut-off hose on it. I didn't do the cutting. Do you know where these calipers are from, Gian?
You said an R32.
They're from a R32 GTR, but they're actually from the MCM R32 GTR.
Ah, right. So extra stonks.
Sneaky, sneaky. Look at all the shininess.
Oh, wow.
It's all so clean. All our caliper hardware.
Is that because they're brand new or because you cleaned them up?
No, I cleaned it all in the ultrasonic cleaner on the injector bench.
Amazing.
Pretty good, huh? Multi-purpose.
What kind of pad have you got going in there? Is that some sort of performance-y?
They're just like a street performance pad. I don't want, same deal as a clutch. I didn't want to go hectic with brakes, because the pads end up being noisy and just ruins the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are really just like they're marketed as a performance street pad, but they're not by any means a track day pad. But this is not by any means a track car, so I think we're winning in that regard. Ah, you dickhead. Forgot the old pad spring. You know, you can do things hundreds of times and still forget. It's always just the process.
Yeah. But also, I feel like if you didn't have me here asking these questions and distracting
That's
you,
probably pretty true too.
Yeah. I definitely couldn't do what you do in the multitasking, sort of answering one question whilst
Neither can I, evidently.
about doing the other.
Look at that. How much better does that look? case you're wondering, or if you're new here, I have used a hook so that the caliper's not hanging on the brake line.
Yeah, you could easily damage that line by hanging all that weight off it.
Yeah, definitely. And as I previously mentioned, X8 brake lines go straight in. And interestingly, the front also goes straight in. So there's really no kind of dramas with doing this brake upgrade at all. Turn that, tighten that. Yeah, mad. That's better. So that is now tight and it's clear.
Don't forget your magical hook thing.
See, you are here to help. Not just here
on the odd occasion.
Not just here to distract me. Centered. Not gonna beat me again, Shim. Fool can't get fooled again. Joyous occasion.
Beautiful.
Now the fun part.
Bleeding the brakes.
Bleeding the brakes.
And you have to do all 4
No, I'm
corners?
just gonna do the rears. There should be absolutely no way that air can actually get. If the caveat I will put on this is the brakes have been bled recently.
Yep.
If the car was old and had old fluid all around, I'd just do all of them. But this has already had a full fluid flush recently, so there's not really a great reason to go and do it all over again.
Yeah, because the brake fluid's very, is it corrosive or it just eats
It can damage paint, but the other thing is too, even because we're going to use a pressure bleeder today, the hose is going to sit over the guard, and because the hoist will go up and down, it would mean that the hose is rubbing against the paint.
Yep.
And that doesn't do paint any favours, especially thin old white Toyota paint. So that's the pressure bleeder fitting. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Pressure bleeder is a winner.
That's done now, is it?
Yeah, man, all bled up. I will bring it down and give it like some pedal and see how it feels.
Yep.
But there was no real evidence of air, and because all we changed was the caliper, because it was already bled to the caliper, there really wasn't. It's not like we'd changed the lines and all sorts of stuff, so it bled up. It should bleed up pretty easily because there's not a lot of fluid deficit. This is our manual shifter surround. Well, it was an auto shifter base plate, but I've actually cut it up and modified it. So I've used the original auto shifter gasket and somewhat of the original auto shifter base plate. And strangely enough, I gutted the shifter while John was having some lunch and sat it over the top of the Great Wall gearbox, and it could not have lined up any better in the hole where the auto shifter came through if I tried it. Literally slipped over it. So I've enlarged the hole so we've got the actual rubber grommet from the Great Wall box as well. The one thing I do still need to do is drill a hole in this for the reverse lockout cable, because that is going to make an appearance again. So that's the last thing I need to finalize. I think I know where it's going to go, but I just want to sit this in the car and make sure that it's all in the right spot before I go drilling that hole, because I need to drill this, then I've got to also drill the car. So let's get sussing.
I will say I also like that your reverse lockout includes GoPed parts.
Oh yeah, it's not confirmed yet though.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
We can talk about it. We may as well show it now.
Crack out the parts.
It's still on version 1 prototype concept. The other thing is I still don't have the part to fix the gearbox yet, so hopefully that comes any day. But this is a collar. So that's a GoPed throttle lever from ADA, which is like an aftermarket GoPed company. But that's going to go on the actual shifter itself. These are going to get shortened. Like I said, this is all just still super prototype 5000. But the theory is that you'll be able to pull that and then go across into reverse. The thing I still need to work out is how this is going to interact with the shifter boot. because I don't want to just hack it out, because then the cable's going to run outside the boot and I want that inside it. Ideally, I'd love to just poke kind of this part out, but I don't know how realistic it is. And the other thing is I don't know how much throw I actually need until I get that other reverse lockout part back that I originally hacked up when we deleted the reverse lockout, which in hindsight I should have left. But these are all the wonderful things that you do when you are building cars. And the other thing that's worth mentioning is there was no way that I could have physically kept the factory lockout in the way it was arranged, because I had to shorten the stick so much. So this is really the only way that we can actually make it work. So yeah, literally that spot weld is where I'm going to drill the hole to get the reverse lockout out of the car. And I think what I'll do is I'll drill this now, but I'm not going to drill the car. I might not even drill that now, to be honest, because until it's in the car, I don't want to drill that hole.
So what do you have to work out right now?
Not much. Basically got that done. So I can now whack my shifter back in.
I will also say I like that you're revisiting some ideas that you know that you can improve on.
This is what continually building cars is about, though. Like, you don't need to be happy with the first iteration. And the other thing is we've got to make videos about something. That's actually a joke. But I do genuinely like improving on stuff that we've already done where it needs it. Like, there's no point doing every single thing again. But like Jeff, you build a car and then you try and actually use it for your intended purpose and then go, oh, that's not really the vibe I was going for, or I want to change this, or I want to change something here, or whatever the case may be. And then you end up just doing it again, and that's fine. Can you pass me this straight little stabby pick, please? Thanks. The other awesome thing is this is the Great Wall shifter boot, and all I've done is cut it down a bit.
Yeah, that's cool as well. I think off camera this morning we mentioned the term hot rod.
Ah, yes, hot rodding.
Yeah.
So people think that, well, hot rodding originated in the 40s after the Second World War, where people would use, well, anything to make cars faster. So they started stripping old Fords down and removing body parts like mud guards and all sorts of stuff. But the other part of it was people would repurpose stuff. So aircraft, positive cabin pressure pumps were used as superchargers. I think the Paxton supercharger was originally based on a cabin pressure pump. But there's just all sorts of stuff came from the military. Hydraulic suspension, like the original lowriders, were repurposed aircraft parts. And this is what it's about, just using things you've got lying around or using things you can find cheaply. Like the Great Wall box is probably a good example of that. It's not really something people would have thought to use, but it owes me probably less than the price of a brand new R154. So if you can make it work, go for gold. And even things like cutting that up rather than going and I just had a young fella in here earlier and he's like, oh, you know, you can buy those brand new still. And it's like, yeah, well, I've got this and I can cut it up and I can get it done today. So I'd rather just continue making stuff and repurpose stuff. Like that auto shifter was literally destined for the bin. So I figured I may as well cut that up and use it. And that's just kind of what this whole car's about, is just getting it done. Don't you want to ask me about my hole punch?
Yeah, it's funny, I was gonna, and then I thought that's a nice looking stump of wood there.
What about the stump of wood? Did you get all firewood distracted? The arborist senses in you were just tingling.
Yeah. Nah, off camera you just said this is from an LS?
Yeah, so I think it's a L98 or LS2 rocker cover breather originally. So something that I actually pinched with the multi grips or vice grips and pulled out of the cover. I think we did AN fittings on it or something. But it's just a handy size to punch holes in stuff. So I ground the tip and made a wad punch out of it. This is my box of tools that I've made. And it lives in this box of tools that I didn't make. Oh, look, the holes even nearly line up.
I've already forgotten what your price setup to this was.
The boot was just sitting there. It hasn't, this is one of the things that I just haven't got to. Remember all those little 10%?
Yeah. What are we at now, the 5%?
No, I think we're still 10. There's a lot of different 10%, so.
Yeah, okay. What is in mind after you do this? Do you have any other little 10% that you have
I
in
don't
mind
know, man.
Film?
We could spend 7 years filming stuff on this car.
Yeah. It's more about what's interesting for camera as well, I guess.
To a degree. I mean, I still like to show what's involved. I bought another car the other day, so projects are happening. I will dangle that carrot.
When are we starting that?
When it gets here. It's from another country.
Cool.
Believe it or not. It's not Japan. Has a V8 in it. It's right-hand drive. The speedo's in kilometres and miles.
Has someone already guessed?
Sorry?
Do you reckon someone's guessed by now with those
Nah,
clues?
surely not. It's got 2 doors, it's V8, it's rear-wheel drive.
What's its intended use or purpose going to be?
Street car.
Yeah, cool. The next burning question is going to be, do you have to sell a street car to make the next street car?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why the Pajero's for sale.
Oh, okay, phew.
Oh, you're thinking this?
Yeah.
Nah, you know what? I've already got like 4 people trying to buy this car.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, it probably will get sold at some point. But I want to at least enjoy it for summer and see if my concept of family cruiser works, because the next car that I build will probably replace this. So the rear-wheel drive V8 2-door thing
Yep.
is probably going to be similar concept to this,
Yep.
but our next year. It's my 2026 major project, let's call it that way.
Yeah, cool.
If I was doing the HSC, it would be my major work. About 4 people know what I'm talking about. That is a winner, Gian. Another thing ticked off the list. You know what the worst thing about a list that's in your head is?
Yeah.
You can never visualize what you've got left.
It also never ends, probably.
No, that's the song. Showing my age there too.
The final question I'm obliged to ask for the people. Are we taking it for a spin now to see if it's solved the issue?
May as well.
Cool.
You can all watch me die inside together.
We are hoping it's not gearbox, correct?
We are hoping it's not gearbox.
So previously at the beginning of the episode you said that it was a problem in which gears?
5th and 6th, it's loudest.
Okay, so we're just talking vibration-y and noise.
More noise than vibration.
Okay.
The reason why I think it's a mount is because 5th and 6th is the gear that's closest to that mount as well. So it's where the noise and the resonance is going to be closest to the mount.
Yep.
So that's my theory,
Well,
that it is just that.
how do you pronounce that again?
Modena.
Cool.
It's not Medina.
Medina, right?
It's a Modena.
That's the other one.
You're f***ing Italian, bro. You should know that.
Yeah, I mean, probably should, but...
Modena's a city.
Is it
in
really?
Italy, yeah.
Holy shit. Didn't know that.
You're going to go to hell for that.
Yeah, probably.
All the nonnas will be waving their hands at you in anger.
Yeah.
All the nonnas that don't watch this channel. Still definitely some noise there,
Yep.
but it's 1,000 times better. Sounds good. Well, another massive episode on the GX81. Things to note, we've replaced the transmission bushes and it has made an absolute massive difference to the car. There is still a bit of a noise in 5th and 6th, so there may actually be something to investigate in the gearbox, but it has completely transformed it. Same deal with the shifter boot. There's a lot less heat actually coming into the cabin via the tunnel now. So really happy with that. Also the rear sway bar, we didn't really get a lot to test out in that today, but no knocks, no creaks, no noises, so that's always a good result. And the R32 brakes are also on the rear. Massive thank you to Rob at Cisco Kids for the bracket, and also a massive thank you to the guys at Grip Tech for putting the rear sway bar kit together for us. And if you are interested in those, again, please check out the Benny's Custom Works website because they are now available. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Gian, if you skimmed over the last shot, there needs to be a cutaway there.
Skimmy man. Lever it to you.
Loves it.
You like that?
I do.